And you're live.
Okay, thank you. There he is, right on time. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 1:30 on August 16th, 2002. Our first order of business is approval of last month's minutes. I'm assuming everyone has had a chance to look at it and offer amendments or give it a thumbs up. Any additions or corrections? Okay. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second the motion.
Okay.
Would
All
you
in
like me to
favor?
do? Would you like me to do a roll call here?
Oh, that's right. Roll call. I keep forgetting.
That's okay. Mr. Aitken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Bradenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The minutes are approved 5-0.
Great. Okay, old business. And I apologize for flogging this horse, but you know, I just want to make sure we get it exactly right. So you've all seen a copy of the updated mission statement. I think I only changed one word. But I've been told that since we've gone through this process in this meeting, we have to make the amendments in this meeting. So has anyone had a chance to look at it? Anybody have any other ideas on our mission statement? Okay, I'll take that as a resounding it's okay. I will entertain a motion to approve our new mission statement.
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second,
okay,
Mr. Aitken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Bradenberg,
aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes
Okay.
5-0.
Great.
And I assume, if I could, real quick, I assume we could always amend it if needed down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no problem. I mean, we've done it how many times now? This is the third, I think. So we obviously approved, we can amend it. We just have to do it in this context. Okay, Patricia, since you weren't with us last month, we didn't really get a chance to talk about the logo and wanted to get an update from you on your discussions with the schools and, you know, guidance that you've gotten. I mean, this was a while ago. You know, do we do it to like all middle schoolers or just sixth graders and things like that? And I'd appreciate your thoughts on that.
Okay, so it's a goal. All we just need to do is give them instructions on how we want to do it. And as far as middle school, elementary now, there are some sixth grade in elementary. So I would say if we're going to do sixth grade, then we would have to do some, you know, everybody, which some is in the elementary. So since you don't want to do elementary, I would say 7th and 8th grade, you know, start with that.
Okay,
Sixth grade, like there are still some, which is the East cluster, which is my cluster, they're still in elementary. So,
Okay.
you know, you have to go to elementary and middle school. So if you just want to stay in middle school, I would just suggest starting with the first, you know, 7th and 8th grade.
okay. Logo or thoughts, folks?
And they're excited about it. So all I have to do is just take our proposal and, you know, exactly what they want to do. School starts for staff the 22nd. And then
Okay.
first
Oh my
round,
God,
right?
that's next week, isn't it?
That's Monday. And school for children's, the first round starts the 30th, and then September the 5th. So they're starting, you know, staggering, which they've done that for several years. So
Okay. So 7th and 8th grade, does that sound reasonable? I mean, one of the good things that we'll have is kids that are a little bit more adept at drawing.
Correct.
So we might get something that, if not close to camera ready, is easily made camera ready, I guess would be the thing. The question would be, when do we want to start it? And when do we want to end it? And when do we want to, like, do the judging and all of that? I mean, it would be, go
Can we
ahead.
do it? And I'm sorry, in the fall, maybe, because we'll start in August and everybody's trying to get themselves together and trying to get acclimated in. So we usually are settled in September. So, and then, they'll be able to look over. But I would say if we could get the expectations or what we expect to them as soon as possible.
Okay.
And then maybe start it in the fall, maybe do that a fall project, and I think we should be okay with that. If we, get the expectations them immediately and then, start the program maybe in the fall.
Okay, well, I'm thinking October. That would give everybody a chance to get nice and settled down.
Yeah.
And then in October, we can introduce this project. What all are we looking for? Come on, you guys. It's just not a conversation between Patricia and me.
Picture of a big tree.
A big tree.
Well, we don't want to stifle artistic license.
Right.
Can we have a
But-
colorful tree? Can it be colorful?
Oh,
Can it
absolutely.
represent community, some type of something with community?
Okay, let's outline the elements. Okay, so tree, community.
I would suggest send them a copy of our revised mission statement.
Okay,
And our other expectations so that they can review that.
okay. All right. Other folks? Come on, Jeff, you're usually full of great ideas.
Me, no. When it comes to this stuff, I'm not very creative. Other than, I mean, can we, for a try to partner, I guess, with the schools maybe, and try to get a couple art teachers or maybe some, someone, excuse me, from the art world or whatever, and like they could be the judges. And they could, make it a big deal, like, narrow it down to 10 or something. And then like everybody can vote on it or something. I don't know, just spitball an idea.
So what they would, so they probably would run it through the art, like the art classes. I know in elementary, they did a project, I think with Suma. They were doing a project with Suma. And this was, I think, the 6th grade or elementary. And it was a big to-do, and they made it a part of the art class or art. Now with a middle school, I'm not quite sure, but I know that most of the projects like that, and especially they're excited about it being a part of the city, a city project. I think they probably would should do and run it through the art, their arts.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the students could vote on it. The 7th and 8th graders. Do we pick 10 and then try to send it out to them and let them vote? Just a thought. And then we do a press release.
So we're
Okay.
talking sketching, arting, nothing, no photographs, no photos, right? They're doing
Right.
art.
Right.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, paint, crayons,
All right,
something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, one of the questions was, and I didn't answer because I said, well, let me get back. Can that student be a part of the press release and
Oh, absolutely.
everything, and talk about them and okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, we want to reward the heck out of these guys. I think, the top 3 for second and honorable mention or something like that. And they're part of the release, I guess, of the completed logo. Not wanting to get ahead, but in my talks with Stephanie Marsh, it doesn't look like the city's website is going to go live till after the first of the year. So if we could get this project done by, by Christmas, then we could give the city website folks a copy of it. And, and then we can work toward, those doldrums in, late January, early February, we could kind of brighten things up with a little, and then work it into the next Arbor Day celebration.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Sarah, do they, does the Beacon still, I know they used to during the school year, like have like a one day a week, they'd have like a school section or something with things in there about school.
Yeah.
I can make a couple of phone calls and find out. My thought is, with it now being owned by Gannett and not really being a local paper anymore, that they might not do something like that, but I don't want to,
Right.
put a negative where there isn't one. So I'll talk to a couple of folks and see what I can find out.
And I know,
Go ahead.
on the Akron Public School side, they'll probably, put it out real big. Mark Williams is our marketing.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he does a good job with doing all that and letting everything be known. So I know they'll really do it big and publicize it on the Akron Public School side.
Okay.
We're very
That's
excited about being a part of it. So I just told them that I would bring. So what I do, and when we decide, I just need to have a clear cut instructions on what needs to happen so I could take it to them and they can then distribute it to where it needs to go.
Okay. So what I have so far, the elements we want to be sure that we have in terms of images would be tree and community, using our mission statement as sort of like the
Foundation.
yeah, thank you. Sometimes words just fail me. How does that sound? But does this give you something to go on, Patricia?
Now, can we have it written up and then have it written up so they'll know? And then also if it is going to be a prize or some type of thing, we need to have it all written up so that I could give it to them so they'll know and be able to let the students know this is what happens if you're picked. Is it possible we could have all that information when I take it to them?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we have to put through the law department in terms of public. So, can we write this up? I'll get in touch with Rebecca Advent and see what she says. And if we can just kind of write up a list of instructions that we can approve then next meeting.
Okay.
That's the middle of September. That's still time to get it, especially if you start kind of prepping things now.
So am I allowed to, before you get it through the law, allowed to just talk to them about it and tell them what we think we would like? Or can you give me some notes on it or send me some notes so I can take it back?
Sure.
And
Sure.
just tell them this is what we wanted and talk to them and then tell them the proposal will be coming as soon as we get it approved.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
That sound good with the rest of you?
I think that's perfect.
Okay. Okay. John, you've been mighty quiet.
I think it all sounds good. This is exactly kind of like how we would do Arbor Day celebration every year with Keep Akron Beautiful and the fourth graders. We'd send it out to the schools. We had a theme. They'd come back with artwork, and it was a judged process, and winners were selected and made a big press release out of it. And that's exactly what the format that this is set up. So I'm happy with it.
Okay, that's great.
If we could,
What?
if I could, yeah, I don't want to just interrupt, but the one thing we could do, and I assume would be okay with the mayor, all this artwork stuff, we could hang it up at City Hall. And then perhaps the winner we could bring into City Council and introduce them, or the winner, the second place or whatever, And
Kind of reminds city council that we exist, huh?
Oh,
yeah, no, we could do something like that. Mayor
Okay.
could maybe be there and whatever. So yeah,
That
Very
sounds good to me.
the kids will love that. They'll love that.
Okay, fabulous, fabulous. Okay, well, you've kind of got the elements of what we're looking for, Patricia, so you can start your conversation with the schools and we'll get it all, step by step by step, and have that for the next meeting.
Okay, thank
Good.
you. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I think most of you got the email I sent out about my conversation with Stephanie Marsh on the new website. The good news is that even though it won't look pretty, we can include a lot of the elements that we want on our new website page on a subpage now. One of the things that would do is be to make our site much easier to find, because I know I've had trouble finding it when I just go in from the city portal. We can, I think what we can do is add Patricia and me to the city's email list so that we can talk to people in our official capacity. I'm not really excited about giving out my personal information in this public kind of a format. We'd have, what we would need to give her would be a little history of the tree commission, how it came into being. And Jeff, you might be able to provide some of those since you were in on the beginning of it. And who belongs on the tree commission. I think the mission statement then is definitely a part of that. And, when it becomes available, our logo, and just slowly but surely start feeding things into our website. We could also have forms. John, tell me what you think about this. When we send out the tree planting letters in the fall and in the spring, I believe right now, if people want to write in and register a complaint, they have to do it, right? Write their own. And if we can, we might be able to come up with a form that they could go online and either download or maybe have a fillable form so that they can submit. And I think that way, especially if a fillable form, we could keep everything online, then we would have records.
Right. And we can format this a couple different ways, but a lot that we've used in the past has been through like survey 1, 2, 3, and we can determine which fields are required. So an incomplete form cannot be submitted. You have to fill in that box or that check mark or whatever that information is required in order to be able to submit the form.
Okay. So let's,
and that we can just have a link right to that. And then what that does is, and in the background, basically all that information is just stored in a database. So we know exactly the time, date that it was submitted, who submitted it, and just keep a running track of that.
Yeah, I think that might make your job a little bit easier, huh?
Oh, it makes that it's everything. I mean, and from that's where you pull all your information.
Okay. So, and then we could also do the same thing if people want to nominate like a heritage tree corridor or a spectacular tree, something like that.
Right.
They would use that same kind of form.
Right. Or just even registered complaints, or, if something doesn't fit directly into calling 311 to make a complaint, but it's something somebody wants to bring an issue in front of the commission, that could be the avenue we could go with.
Okay. When people do call 311, would it be possible to have those phone folks fill out a form that would then go to us?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's because they're doing volume. I mean, it's just a lot of calls coming in on any given day.
All
The
right.
easiest thing is direct somebody to the website and have
All
them
right.
fill.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is get back with Stephanie and tell her, what the elements are that we want right now. And then as it gets closer to the new website going live, we can see if there are other things we want to add. I mean, of course, we want to have lots and lots of pictures of trees on the new website. I even asked her if it was possible to have like a banner, and the banner stays there no matter what you're doing, but it could also change pictures of trees, taking throughout the city. So does that sound all good?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we can get this up and running by the time of the next meeting. John, can you get me a list of the things that you want absolutely to be included on the forms?
Absolutely.
Okay. And perhaps you can send that straight to Stephanie in an email. And
Yeah,
so then
I'll work with Stephanie and our GIS folks to get that put together.
Okay. Fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. I'm excited about this. Okay. Anything else to discuss on that particular item? Okay. John, you sent out about 900 letters a couple of months ago. How's that going?
So far, so good. I've just been getting some return ones coming back that they haven't not deliverable for one reason or another. But
Okay.
I'll have that list over so we can get some of these put out to register for the next meeting.
Okay.
If they so choose to show up.
Okay. So then if we were to do a public hearing, it would be next meeting?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I can't think of anything else for us to do. Anybody else have anything they want to cover? This is the time to do it.
Is this new business?
Yes.
Okay. I have a couple things I'd like to just bring up to the commission. October 8th, Cleveland Clinic. We did this last year. We had a volunteer planting event. Cleveland Clinic funded 50 trees. We planted out at Lane Field.
Okay.
This year, they have decided to partner with us again. We are purchasing. I'm going to do the purchasing this time. So we'll get roughly 65, 70 trees out of this, but the date will be October 8th.
Okay.
So I would recommend that tree commission be present if at all possible.
Where at, John?
It's going to be at Lane Field again.
Okay.
We didn't quite finish everything that we just ran out of money basically last year. So, what they were looking for is a park with close proximity to the hospital that could support that kind of growth. We had I'll bet you every bit of 100 volunteers there last year.
Fabulous.
It's a well-run. I mean, they're a well-run organization. They have done this in Cleveland for many years, and now that they are down here in Akron, they were looking for a partner, and I was glad to partner with them, and it was a very well attended event. They bring in box lunches. So we'll get to work out the rest of the details here over the next couple of weeks, but typically we start at about 9 a.m. and we finish up by 2.
Okay, sounds great.
So that's one item I have.
All right.
Another one is the U.S. Forest Service. They periodically send out these tree planting grants, and when they don't receive a lot of participation at the national level, they split the monies up amongst the states and hand it to the
Okay.
Division of Forestry. And Ohio is very proactive when it comes to this. But yesterday, or a couple of days ago, just received this proposal. It's a $25,000 grant, and it has to be a matching. So we can cover that cost with our planting program already. So
Okay.
basically, we're getting 25 grand for free. What I'm requesting from the Tree Commission, and as part of the grant submission, is a letter of support from the Tree Commission for this. It's the Urban Canopy Restoration Grant Program.
Okay.
We're currently preparing legislation, and we'll introduce that when council is done with recess. And we will, so we'll be submitting that to be able to accept and expend and apply for the grant. But there's a series of these requirements, and one of them is you have to have a tree commission, which we do, and we need a letter of support from the tree commission.
All right. That's easy part.
Yes.
Um,
And then what we can do is the money just has to be expended by the end of 23.
all right.
So we can plan an event for next year where we have a $50,000 planting program that we could highlight, that the tree commission could highlight and take charge of, or I can just run it through allowable expenses, running it through contracts, and we just get the reimbursement for that. So we can run it either way. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide.
What's the more bang for the buck? You doing it through your contracts or what?
We get, if we're purchasing, we get the bigger purchasing power.
Okay, well, that sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go with large size material either, where this is difficult for people to handle. We can get manageable size. So at the most would be like a 10-gallon container. So like something about as thick as your thumb, a little bit bigger than your thumb.
Yeah.
So maybe 6 feet in height versus a 2.5-inch caliper, 12 to 15 foot tall tree.
Yeah. Do you have an idea what we would do with these trees? I mean, would they go in one specific place, or would they
I would
go-
like to, I would like to stick, if we're doing it, it has to be either in the right of way or on public land. So
Okay.
either we pick a park or we pick a neighborhood, and we do a planting in a neighborhood.
Okay,
right.
street trees, yeah.
Tree trees, yes.
Okay. This might sound complex, but I know there are a lot of little teeny tiny, like vest pocket parks. Aqua Park was one of them, and
But it's a bona fide city park, though. I mean, it's
Okay.
what we call pocket parks are, I'll use Princeton and Canyon Trail. There's a park that sits there. It's a vacant lot it's a city-owned lot that the neighborhood decided and fundraised to create a park there.
Okay,
However, the city has no maintenance there because it's not, it has never been classified as a city park through planning department, so it
Okay.
hasn't gone through that whole process. If they
Okay.
wanted a park, I'll be more than happy to take over the maintenance of it. But if it's not a city park, we're just not we don't have that maintenance responsibility with it.
Okay, so that would not be a candidate for tree in this program.
The one I just used, but Aqua Park would be.
Okay, okay. Jeff, you got your hand up?
Yeah, thank you. No, I'd request that. I don't think we've looked it over, or we have some time ago. But John, could you send us out that report that the city commissioned some time ago referenced the tree canopy, and we can review that and maybe make a recommendation in terms of like if there's gaps out there, in terms of our tree canopy, in certain areas, review that and then make a recommendation in terms of where. I wouldn't want to slow down the process. I would just like to make a motion that we approve the request in terms of, our support, pledging the Tree Commission's support for the application to the state of Ohio in reference to the $25,000 grant. And just make that recommendation for approval.
Okay. Would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
I thought that was.
Sarah, do
I
you
try to
need
make it sound like
specific
it.
words to put in for the motion, or can you
I can, yeah.
you can, okay,
I will second that motion.
okay, great. All those in favor, well, no, roll call.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Bradenberg,
Aye,
Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
That motion is approved 5-0.
okay. So we will get you a letter to that effect as soon as possible. But now that's taken care of. You have the tree commission support.
Okay, thank you. And I see this happening over the next 2 or 3 years, just with the infrastructure bill that was passed. There's a section in there that it deals with healthy streets, green streets. And this is where I'm pretty sure this money is being allocated from.
Okay,
And since it went to the U.S. Forest Service, they put out the RFPs every year. But their guidelines are so strict, usually that it's hard to try to get those grants. And then they funnel it down to the state. So that I see this coming more and more over the next year or two.
boy, that's fabulous.
Yeah, this a couple years ago, well, more than a couple, probably 15. We did this same thing where there was a lot of money given to to the U.S. Forest Service, but we ended up with a $500,000 grant for tree planting.
Wow.
And that was that was a long time ago. But like I said, in that infrastructure package, there is a whole section that deals with street trees and healthy streets. So this is good news.
Okay. Okay.
And I will get you that link. I will get you the report, and I will also send out the link for that Canopy study. That it's the interactive portion online, so you can filter out by park or parcel or census block and kind of determine that what's needed there. Okay.
Okay. Anything else, John?
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else from my esteemed colleagues? Yes.
I have a question. Maybe John can answer, or anyone. Do you have a program that you can get a tree and plant in memory of someone, or yes? Do you?
In the master tree planting plan that the commission that you guys have, there is a memorial tree planting section in there.
Okay.
So if you just read that over, it explains the whole process there on what to do.
You said where's that? I'm sorry, I didn't.
It
And you know
would
that huge
be,
notebook?
Oh, I don't have the notebook.
You know?
You sent it out as a link.
Oh, can you send me the link?
Mhm. I
Can you
can
please
forward
send me the link again?
instead of making those big binders for
Okay,
everyone, we
okay.
updated them.
Like, I don't have the notebook. Can you please send me the link again? Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Okay. Is that another form that we could have on the website, John? People to nominate
you-
trees or,
oh, yes, yeah, that's a whole nother thing we can put on there. Yeah.
okay. Okay, fabulous.
It's just street tree requests. I would still want to go through 311 because that's our way of tracking everything within the right of way. Typically, a memorial tree is something that's planted in a park. It's a, it's a special, more unique item.
Okay. Okay.
One more question, John, are we eligible to get it? And can you get it on a private, like maybe at the community house, my community house, if I can get it and do it? Would that be considered?
We have it in, the way it's set up would be public land.
Oh, public land. Okay.
Okay.
If we would have, John, if we would have do we have like standard agreements to go on to private property for things like that?
Is it a
Do we
community
use?
center that you're asking, Patricia?
Yes.
Is it-
Yes. It's for, well, my brother passed away just like last week, and
I'm so
I-
sorry.
thank you. And I was just interested. He had actually found out I was on the tree commission, and something happened to one of his trees and had his house. And I was supposed to check into it, how I could get it planted back for him. But he passed away, and we're going to sell the house. And I just like to get a tree. He was really into trees, like at the community house, my community house, in memory of him. So I was just
Okay.
curious if I could do that, or if there was a program for that.
But let's be clear, your community house is still a private organization, correct? Or do you get public grants?
We get public grants.
Okay,
Yeah, we're funded by public grants. Yes.
okay. Does that make a difference, John?
I'll leave that up to, I'll defer to council and service director's office.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say, is it a community center? What community center are you talking about?
North Hill Community House. That's my nonprofit, my community center on Howard and York. Mhm.
It's a nonprofit. Yeah. Do you know what the name of the house is in? Is it in the name of the nonprofit 501, or is it other?
Other.
Okay, yeah, we might have a problem with that, but maybe we could do something else was there a park that was close to your brother that was, like in the city that he enjoyed a lot or something?
I can check that out. Yes, I can check it out and see. Talk to my siblings.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll look into the
Great.
Northville community though, just to see.
okay. Thank you for that, Patricia, and my condolences, our condolences.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All right, hearing no other business, I propose we adjourn the meeting. I don't think we have to have a vote on an adjournment, do we?
No, you can see if there are no objections, you can adjourn.
Okay, I don't hear anybody wanting to hang around here much longer, right? Okay, fabulous meeting, everybody. This was really, really good. We got a lot of stuff to do. Good. All right. See you all next month, and I'll communicate as necessary around what I'm doing with Stephanie and, John and all that good kind of stuff. Okay?
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Have a good
Thank you.
afternoon.
Bye.